Hi, this is Dennis. The system of profound knowledge is something that we're going to be talking a lot about over time, and I wanted to give you an introduction to how this relates to the work that we do. The system gives us an opportunity to make our strategy visible, to make it tangible or measurable, and to make it predictable. A universal goal of a lot of improvement is in getting some kind of gain for the organization and the customer. It's often not achieved because of the way in which the changes were implemented, and often changes don't result in improvements, but every improvement requires changes. And executives like yourselves need to act on clear direction that everybody agrees to. You need to act with knowledge, and we need purpose in our very different operating system. I mentioned that Dr. Deming described this system as profound. This means that the insights that are gained by looking at 4 areas of knowledge are deep. The insights from these 4 separate areas, when we look at all 4 of them in combination, is a way to more deeply understand what it is we're looking at in any given situation. Dr. Deming talked about this lens as a way for us to focus on what's the aim of our system. And the aim of this lens he described as follows: my aim is to provide a foundation or system of theory for continual change of practices for management to keep up with the changes that are taking place in this world, even perhaps to guide the changes to come. The deep insights that we get from the system of profound knowledge and this lens come from Deming's description of the components. With respect to appreciation for a system, he said, a system is defined as a network of interdependent components that work together to try to accomplish the aim of the system. In the theory of knowledge, he described that rational prediction requires theory and builds knowledge through systematic revision. That theory is what we discover as to whether it works or not through the plan, do, study, act cycle. With respect to understanding variation, Deming went on to say that the central problem in management and leadership, in the words of my colleague Lloyd S. Nelson, is failure to understand the information in variation. And with respect to people and his description of the psychology as a component, he said a leader of transformation and managers involved needs to learn the psychology of individuals, the psychology of a group, the psychology of society, and the psychology of change. When we use the system of profound knowledge, we see things differently. Every situation or every innovation that we think of, whether it's an improvement or we start out with an idea that we'd like to implement somewhere in the world, we look at the world quite differently than we would if we didn't use the lens that Dr. Deming described. You saw the earlier Venn diagram, and I'd like to suggest to you that this lens that Dr. Deming talked about could be viewed as the magnifying glass. It could be viewed as a camera lens, but it's important for us to recognize that when we adjust our thinking, when we start to adjust the way we look at the world from these 4 specific areas, we will think and act quite differently. Dr. Deming described the system of profound knowledge as a lens. The aim is to provide an outside view, a lens by which to understand the organizations that we work in. The various segments of the system cannot be separated. They interact with each other. For example, knowledge about psychology is incomplete without knowledge of variation. This should sound familiar by now. The high point I'd like to leave with you today is the more that we understand about these 4 interacting areas of science, the better our organization can be understood as a complex system. We're in the process of developing a new system, and it's important for us to recognize that this new way of looking at our system as we develop it and as we implement it needs a new viewpoint that will help us understand things together and better than we might otherwise do. Our operating system, when we inform it through the system of profound knowledge, gives us the opportunity to think about the innovations having an economic difference. It's important for us to think about the unique needs for our customers are to have some kind of economic success. And this is where value comes into our world, not just efficiency. And the innovations that we think of require changes to make improvements for ourselves in the system as well as for the customers we serve. The insights that we might provide come from science will supercharge your current knowledge with the science of improvement that's evident in the system of profound knowledge. And we'll look at ways that we can integrate a sustainable future for our customers and for our organization by using our strengths today to meet our aim and the needs of the future. In summary, how we can help is to begin to think about the transformation that's necessary to move away from how we think today, might be around programs or profits or particular projects. We need to think of those as things that are from the past way of thinking. And we need to move towards the future and make a transformation from the way we typically think as human beings. It's important for us to think that in the future we'll be process and people focused in order to reap all of the benefits of the transformation in our thinking. In the middle of this diagram, you'll see that there's a variety of services that I'm quite used to providing, and these can be shared services for us. It's important for us to think about not only the services that we can share, but also what we can pass on or share with our customers. Please feel free to give me a call or drop me an email if I can answer any questions or help you in any way. I'm happy to give you a quick answer, or if you have a question that you have to leave on a voicemail, I'll get back to you just as soon as I can. Thank you.